€3,000 into a savings account. Interest is added annually at a rate of 2.4% per year. Work out the amount on Olga's account after 5 years, correct to the nearest account. Now, after 5 full years, right? 5 full years means we're going to increase it by 2.4% 5 times. What should I do with the 2.4%? Turn into what number? 1.02, because 2.4% is actually 0.024% in decimals, right? How many years are we doing this for? 5 years. And what's our initial payment? Now, for those of you at home, I'm doing the P1 plus I to the power of T formula, haven't I? I'm adding 1 to 0.024. I'm doing a power of 5 and 3 grand at the start, right? We okay with that? Now, put all that into the calculator and let me know what you get. Anybody care to tell me? Oh, I'll need a calculator. So, most of the lads in my class told me that this is 33, was it? 3377.70. Okay, and if you look at the market scheme, we're in agreement, okay, and that it goes for 5 marks, and that's it there, all right? Now, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab this one here for myself, okay, and I'm going to send it to the same page. Here we go, okay? Now, what it's asking currently, it's asking on the next question is, explain what is meant by present value. Present value is the amount that should be invested to amount to 1,000 in a year's time at a particular rate of interest. So do you remember what I said? That you can invest a lower amount of money than 1,000. For argument's sake, imagine you invested €990 and then in 1 year's time it accumulated up to 1,000. You see what we're saying? Present value of a payment of €1,000 in a year's time basically means what amount of money do you pay today that in 1 year's time a particular set of interest will amount to €1,000. What do you mean? Marketing scheme, it's a bit of a mixture one, so it's hard to grade. So, but it will count towards the total grade. So you need part 1 correct for full marks. Parts 1 and 2 correct get you mid partial. Yeah, if you get part 1 right, you actually get 5 out of 10. Is that right? 5 out of 10. Now let's go down to B part 2. Yeah, B part 2, guys. Jen puts a different amount into the savings account with the same interest rate. After 6 years, Jen has €4,000 in his account. So that's F equals, what's it? P 1 plus I to the power of T. Agreed? And what happens is we know the F value. What's the F value? The P value is what we're after, which is the present day value. And what's our rate of interest? 1.24 to the power of 6. All right. Then grab your 4,000 and divide that by 1.024 to the power of 6. And we do 4,000 divided by 1.024 to the power of 6. 3,469.45. And answering both those parts correctly will go for 10 marks, okay? And you can see it here. Both parts, you get 10 marks. And one part correct and an attempt on the other one can get you 8 out of 10. Yes, sir. I'll show you now in a second. Sorry, I went too far there. All right. Now, so what did we say? 3. So what did you want from this? The answer to B part I was actually an explanation question where you just write down what it actually means. Fiona is taking out a loan at the same interest rate of 2.4% per year. She makes quarterly payments. Quarterly. So what we're going to say is that x to the power of 4 equals what? 1.024. Then we're going to quarter root this, aren't we? And when we quarter root this, shift quarter root, or say for root is the same thing as a quarter. 0.24. 1.005946. Now you gotta be careful with this. Is it 4.6 or 4.7 if it was to round it? 4.67, so it's actually 4.7. You gotta be careful with those rounding. Okay. It doesn't matter at the moment because we're not using sine, cos, or tan, so it won't affect anything. Okay. Now lads, look at this. This would be 10%, wouldn't it? That'd be 1%. So this here is what? 0.59 of a percent. If we go to our marking scheme really quickly, we can see the answer is 0.59 of a percent, and it's worth 5 marks. Okay. All good? Excellent. Now, Rowan wants to put the same amount of money in a savings account at the start of each month for 36 months. Start of each month for 36 months. So at the end of 3 years, he will have a total of €12,000 in the account. The interest rate is calculated at 0.11% per month. Taking A as, it gives you the monthly, so you don't have to do x to the power 12. It actually gives you the monthly as 0.011. Go with that? Now, here's what we're going to do. How many months in 3 years? 36. Okay. Write down the geometric series. We have to write down a geometric series. You ready? So it's going to be A. So start of each month. So do you know the last payment we put in? How long will it be in the bank for? If we put it in December 1st, it'll be there for 1 full month. So our last payment is €1, but it gets increased by a value of 0.11. Does everybody see where I got 1.0011 from? Because it's there for 1 month, yeah? And call that your T1. What about our second last payment? 1.0011 to the power of 2. And what does it say in the fine print of the question, the last section? First 2 and last 2 terms. So what does that mean? T1 and T2. And it also means T35 and T36. Okay. So I'm just going to have to shift the whole thing this way. Run out of space. Okay. Let's do T35 and T36. So what's T35 going to be? And then next one. To the power of 36. Okay, you guys? Now, you happy with SN? Is it? Oh, we don't have to do that yet, do we? No, we don't actually have to do that yet. Okay. And if you check your marking scheme really quickly, you can see that this actually goes for 15 marks. This whole system, D part 1, sorry, not 15 marks, but D part 1 gets you part of the 15 marks. It's D part 1 and D part 2 are worth 15 each. Sorry, they're worth a total of 15. Okay, so let's go back up here. Now we're going to go to D part 2 now. Where's D part 2? Oh, it's down here. Hence, find the value of A that gives the total amount. So this whole thing in part 1, all that equals €12,000. You happy with that? Everything in part 1 has to add up to €12,000. And we know it's a geometric sequence. So we're after Sn equals A minus 1 R to N all over. You can actually sometimes get marks just for throwing down the formula you're going to use. Okay? Next thing, what we're going to do. What's the A value? The first term? So 1.0011 A. What's your R value? 1 point. Yep. N is 36 because it's 36 individual payments. You would have killed for a question like this in your junior and your leaving cert this year, wouldn't you? Yeah. I think we'd all be pleasantly surprised. SN is 12 grand, isn't it? Yeah, and then we get 1.0011a 1 minus 1.0011 to the power of what goes? 30, all divided by 1. Take away 1.0011. And the part we're going to throw in the calculator, we're going to ignore the a, and it's everything that's not the a. Do you understand? Okay. So we get press the fraction button. 1.0011. 1 minus open bracket 1.0011 to the power of 36 by 1 minus 0011. You got that? 36.742, do us? 36.742. No, but we haven't done it yet. Do you get what I'm saying? We're going to divide this number into 12,000. So I wouldn't be keen just to round off just yet. Okay. 1 second, buddy. Divided by 36.742, and we get an answer of €326.60. And if we go down here, €326.60. So we've got that answer correct. The final answer, as you said on the calculator, was €326.60 when you divide it in. Okay, those two parts together were worth 15 marks. This question here is an expected value question, which is for general statistics, so we won't be doing it this time around. We'll come back at a later date.